Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dhyan and my friend Sasank are going to give a project presentation on evaluating residential structural design for artificial air conditioning load. So the aim of our study is to check the effect of simple practices and age-old techniques to achieve a comfortable space. And another aim is to study the effect of entrapment of solar radiation and its effect on how the temperature inside a control volume is going to rise. And how have we done this study? So we are measuring the temperature variations in a room and in a car over a period of time at different conditions. So the different conditions correspond to different practices or different conditions, and the temperature is directly corresponding to the artificial air conditioning load which will be there. So we are as such not using air conditioner to cool our room. We are just relating the temperature and we can directly infer what will be the air conditioning load. So just to give you some introduction, some age-old practices we have seen are mud walls, which are very good thermal insulator and they provide evaporative cooling due to pores. Then we have ventilated homes, which are very good to remove hot gases and provide fresh air. They are also good at maintaining humidity and limiting toxicity. Wooden structures are very good at thermal insulators. And at the last, the greenery, it's very good as it is going to capture carbon dioxide. And since we know carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, it is going to entrap the infrared radiations, and the entrapped infrared radiations are going to increase the average global temperature. And here is the image of a partially damaged mud wall. So we can see the internal constructions of the mud wall. The woods are going to give the structural strength. And this image shows the chimney in my home. And what are the problems with today's residential structures? So there are problems related to heat trap by glasses, and another is the fenestrations, that is the windows are improperly placed sometimes. And the major problem is the designers are more focusing on aesthetics and packaging, the look and the plan of the building, and not uh, focusing on air circulation and ventilation aspects. So now to do the study, we have done two experiments. The first experiment is inside a room and the details are here. So the purpose is to study the effect of ventilation, fenestrations, overhang, etc. And the methodology is we have performed the experiment in a bedroom which is of a house which is located in the outskirts of Surat, Gujarat. The duration of the year was March end, which was before Holi for this year, and it indicates that the winter winds were still on, which are dry winds coming from north, and the movement of air is from land to sea. And the location of the room was average at a height of 8 meters from the outside level surface. And various indoor conditions we have considered with respect to fan, windows, ventilation, reflector seat. This will correspond to different practices we can follow in our home. And this is the reflector seat which we have used, and I'll mention about this reflector seat later. Various temperature measurements we have taken in consideration are temperature of ceiling, floor, window. We have taken two readings, one on the wooden part of the window, another on the metal part of the frame of the window. For wall, we have taken two sets of wall, one which is exposed to direct solar radiation, another which is not exposed to direct solar radiation. And for each of the wall, we have taken two readings, one at the top position of the wall and another at the bottom location of the wall. The apparatus used was non-contact infrared thermometer. The image shows here. The location of the temperature measurements done in the room are here. So the red dot shows the temperature of the wall, the top position and the corresponding bottom location. The right wall is actually exposed to direct solar radiations from outside, and this wall, the left one, is not exposed to direct solar radiations. The yellow encircled positions are where the window temperatures were taken, and you can notice the wood and the metal frame are very close by. The right image shows the location of temperature measurement for ceiling, and the same location were taken for the floor temperature measurement. Now coming to the observations. So the first observation is related to ceiling temperature variation. So we can see that the blue line indicates the temperature when the room was completely closed during the day and even at the night. So there is they have maintained a very constant temperature of around 31 to 32 degrees Celsius. And while when we are having pure ventilation, that is only ventilation and the best case corresponding to ventilation plus the air, the fan was on during the night. So this will lead to rise of temperature during the day, but during the night it is going to decrease the temperature, and at 5 a.m. we can see it is very low temperature. There was one more observation related to ceiling temperature. The ceiling temperature are always the highest corresponding to all other locations inside my room. This is because the ceiling material, which is the concrete, is having a very high specific heat capacity, and additionally the conductivity of the concrete is very low, so it will maintain the heat absorbed during the day. And ceiling is exposed to most highest amount of duration during the day for direct solar radiations also. So the arrangement for ventilation is shown here. The right part shows the front end of my building, and the right image shows the rear end of my building. The middle image shows the connecting rod, connecting door. So in this direction is the north. So the winds from north direction usually come, enters my front bedroom, passes through the connecting door, and leaves from the rear window, and the sea is located in this direction for my building. Using this arrangement, we were able to have a very good air change and ventilation during the night. Now comparing the top and corresponding bottom point temperature. So irrespective of the direct solar radiated heat wall and or indirect solar radiated wall, always the top position of the wall was at higher temperature than the corresponding bottom location of the wall. So it indicates one major observation which we can intuit already, that the more dense, lower temperature air is more dense, because we can consider air approximately as an ideal gas where pressure and the gas constant will remain constant. So the temperature and density has inverse relation. As the temperature reduces, that is the colder air will have more dense and it will settle down at the lower positions of my room, while the corresponding top layers of my room will have more hot air, and hence in equilibrium the wall temperature will be higher. Next is the effect of direct solar radiations. So we have compared the bottom position and top position separately for walls with direct and indirect solar radiations. So we can see that always the wall which is having direct solar radiations is at higher temperature, even though during the night time. This is because same effect, because the wall is going to store the heat inside it. And more details of direct solar radiation study will be given by Sasan. Now the effect of overhang. So in my location, the windows are over here, and we can see that the overhang is of almost a length of 10 to 12 feet, and the design is such that there is a very good chance of air flowing inside my room, and the data points in the graph are corresponding to the day when to the night when the ventilation and fan was kept on. So we can see that the window temperatures are very low with respect to the ceiling temperatures, and we can see that the minimum temperature attained is very close to 23-24 degrees Celsius. And during these days of experiment, the minimum temperature which during the night which was attained in ambient was 22 degrees Celsius. So we can see that my room was able to maintain and attain a very low temperature just by using ventilation and forced convection by air, by fan. No need of air conditioners. And the last effect is the use of reflector sheet. So this was the same reflector sheet. The left edge is corresponding to the aluminum foil, and the bulk over here, the porous region, corresponds to the thermal insulator, the foam. So the combined effect will be the aluminum foil will reflect more radiations and transmit less through the window, and the foam is going to further reduce the conduction through the windows. So now we have reduced the overall heat transfer coefficient, and the similar concept can be used in formation or in the structures of wall, where we can have a first layer of brick, the second layer of insulation, again a third layer of brick. So the insulation can even be of air, because air is also very good thermal insulator, and the overall heat transfer coefficient of such a brick structure is going to reduce so much that we can easily attain low temperatures during day relatively comfortable temperatures during day and comfortable warmer nights during colder days. And we can see that there is a reduction of around 2.3 degrees Celsius when we are using the reflector sheet and when we are not using the reflector sheet. The major conclusions are the maximum temperature is always at the ceiling of the room. The bottom of the wall is always at lower temperature than its corresponding higher point. The forced convection of air using a fan inside the room along with ventilation resulted into approximately the same temperature, same minimum temperature in the room as of ambient temperature. Now my friend Sasank will continue.
Okay, thank you, Dhyan. So the next experiment was performed inside the car. Just like the previous experiment, we have tried to explain the purpose, methodology, the observation, and discussions in the experiment in detail. Next slide. We had this eager in our mind that whether the solar radiations that peep through the windows affect the heating of the car in a significant amount. The phenomenon of greenhouse effect that we have studied in our earlier classes is relevant here. The solar radiations which fall on the glass windows allow the radiation of shorter wavelength to pass through it. These radiations get absorbed by the objects present inside the car, and the same objects release these radiations of longer wavelength. These longer wavelength radiations are not able to pass through the windows and thus get trapped inside. This way the air inside the car gets heated up and leads to the increase in temperature. We basically wanted to know the rise in temperature due to this phenomenon. Next slide. So this experiment was performed in Parbhani, Maharashtra in the first 2 weeks of April 2021. The experiment was performed at ideal conditions of a car with all the windows closed. Alto K10 car model was used in this experiment, and the mini LCD digital thermometer sensor was used to measure the temperature of the air inside and outside the car. Okay. So when the sun is just above the horizon, that is in the morning, the outside temperature is less, the intensity of the sun rays radiations is less, and the rays are incident at an angle to the top surface of the car. So most of the rays hitting the car enter through the windows. The heat transfer will take place mostly through radiation, and greenhouse effect can be observed clearly. When the sun is overhead, that is in the afternoon, the outside temperature is higher, intensity of sun rays is also higher. The rays are incident perpendicular to the top surface. So heat transfer from the outer layer to the inner space occurs mostly due to conduction. To check these effects, we have taken these two scenarios separately. So now when the windshield is fully transparent, we know that the windshield is fully transparent and windows have a black coating to reduce the intensity of entering sunlight. So we have considered the two conditions when most of the sun rays pass through the windshield and when most of the sun rays pass through the windows. This was done by changing the orientation of the car. All this was done under three main sub conditions: when the car is under direct sunlight, under the shade, and when the windows are covered or uncovered. Next slide. So the car at 8:15 a.m. facing eastwards is shown in the figure A. You can see the amount of sunlight entering the car through the windshield, and the red mark in the figure B shows the location where the temperature was measured throughout the experiment. Next slide. So this figure C shows the car windshield covered by a cloth. This was also taken at 8:15 a.m. and you can see that the cloth has obstructed most of the light and very negligible amount of rays are entering inside the car. And figure D shows the tree shade under which the car was parked for the shade conditions. Next slide. These are the observations made. The outside air temperature was measured. The temperature of the location, that is it was shown by the mobile, and temperature measured inside the car. At these were done at different conditions and timings, and all these are the temperature measured in the morning time. Next slide. So this is the table showing the temperature measured over the day at different conditions. Next slide. Okay, so we have plotted this data on the graph, and in this graph the blue line indicates the outside temperature, the red line is the temperature inside the car. You can see in the left graph that when the car is in the shade, the temperature inside the car is way lower than the outside temperature over the period of time. That is, this was taken in the morning. So and in the right graph shows the car under direct sunlight and it is facing eastward. the outside temperature is almost the same when the car was in shade, but we can see the amount of rise in internal air temperature over short period even when the sunlight intensity is lower. Next slide. So this graph shows the temperature change over the same period, but when the windshield was covered by cloth. So the internal temperature is almost same as external air temperature. This clearly shows the decrease in temperature rise just by covering the glass with a cloth. The heat transfer from the outer layer to the inner side is mainly due to conduction. We can have this conclusion here. Next slide. Okay, so here the measurements done over the entire day are plotted. We have cooled down the car around 1 p.m. to check the temperature changes significantly. The left and right graph shows the case when the car was covered and uncovered respectively. We can clearly see the spike in the temperature inside when the car was not covered. The external outside temperature was almost the same on both the days. Before 1 p.m., the car was facing east and only the windshield was covered. So first we will look at both the graphs before 1 p.m. The maximum temperature of 43 degrees Celsius was achieved inside the car when the car was covered, and now when the car was not covered, the maximum temperature was found to be 50 degrees Celsius. A large difference of temperature rise is seen in both these cases. Now after 1 p.m. the car was facing south and windows exposed to direct sunlight were covered. This was done to see the effect due to windows exposure. So now we'll look at the graphs after 1 p.m. When the windows are exposed to direct sunlight. The difference between maximum inside and outside maximum inside temperature in both the conditions was around 4 degrees Celsius, and the temperature rise after 1 p.m. was less when compared to the rise before 1 p.m. This shows the greenhouse effect is larger due to transparent windshield when compared to the coated windows. Next slide. So these are the major conclusions drawn from our experiment, that the direct solar radiation is the largest factor of heat gain in a closed environment. Glass area leads to radiation trap and heat buildup to a significant amount. The covering of the windows with a cloth significantly reduces the temperature inside the space, and the transparent glass traps more radiations compared to the translucent glass or the coated glass. Shady areas are the most secure places to park a car in hot summer conditions. So the future work anyone can do is we can make a representative small model of the room and experiment with different conditions for building. We were not able to do this due to COVID conditions. We were not able to visit other houses. So you can experiment on overhangs with windows with and without overhangs, and you can experiment on different time durations of the year. You can also check the temperature rise by keeping the car windows open to a very small extent and covering the entire car with a cover provided by the car company. Okay, thank you.